Good afternoon and welcome to Ysgol y Strade's BBC School Report with me, Isabel. In this programme we will report on different stories in and around our area of Llanelli and Carmarthenshire. First on today's show, Llanelli's main hospital A&E department is threatening to close due to funding issues. We sent Anna and Emily to investigate.
Thank you. There are dark times ahead for Llanelli's local hospital, Prince Philip, as the A&E department might be closing due to funding issues. This is quite a problem to many of the smaller hospitals across the UK, and it may well make people more vulnerable to accidents that could be saved. We were previously joined by hospital staff and workers to see how the closure might affect them and the hospital itself.
Oh, I'm very sad to see it go, because a local community like this, so big in numbers, we do need an A&E department. As you know, Carmarthen's had a new A&E built, and our population is much greater. And if there was a serious accident within Llanelli, there's some travel to get to Carmarthen, so yeah.
I think it's going to be a shame for the local area. Obviously there's big hospitals further down the road in Swansea, and there's one down in Carmarthen as well. But with Llanelli such a large town, especially with industry here and a few schools as well, I think it's important that we do have a big hospital here that can deal with A&E.
Well, with the A&E department leaving Prince Philip Hospital, the future at the moment is not very bright, as in, like I said, A&E, because there's a lot of small wards at the bottom levels of A&E which do accept patients in from accidents, emergencies and so on and so forth.
Oh, the immediate problem would be that you have to travel a long way to A, go to hospital, and B, to see any family that you do have in hospital. So that adds time and everything, especially when you have to go talk to doctors and talk to nurses about possible sending them home or sending them to various other hospitals as well, because you can't do everything in Swansea, you can't do everything in Carmarthen either. So especially Llanelli's a nice little hospital looking after the general population of Llanelli, and I think it'll be a shame if we lose the A&E here.
Funding is a serious problem at the moment for many branches of the public sector, especially hospitals. A lot of departments of various hospitals are being closed at the moment, A&E departments making up a large part of them. The closest A&E to many is now around 12 miles away in Morriston, instead of the previous 5 or 6.
How many people have to die because of long car or ambulance journeys because of budget cuts and A&E closures before the authorities change their mind?
Over the years, Llanelli town has changed dramatically, particularly recently with the opening of a brand new development in the town centre. We sent in Harrod and Luke to find out about the exciting new plans for Llanelli and district.
Over the past 35 years, a thriving town in southwest Wales has been undergoing serious development. Recently, a new cinema, theatre and a family hotspot has been developed and opened. The town has been selected to host the National Eisteddfod in 2014, and a 19th century building has been refurbished and renovated in a state-of-the-art museum and information centre.
The first out-of-town development phase began in 1988 when a large Tesco store was opened in what later became Trostor Retail Park.
Over the years, other shops have joined Tesco, including BHS, Animal, fitness and sports stores, holiday stores and many assorted clothes shops.
Whilst all these stores are fantastically convenient, they are partly responsible for taking their toll on the rest of the town.
Several of the large stores in the town centre have packed up and moved to Trostor, leaving the once thriving town centre in an emptier place.
Could this mean that it's curtains for the old-style small town centre?
Oakwood Town Centre has been making a dramatic comeback, as seen at Ysgol, the brand new development in Llanelli. Opened in October 2012, this development offers a state-of-the-art multiplex cinema, as well as a brand new 550-seat theatre, which is being used for all forms of entertainment, some of which have been broadcast on the BBC Wales channel. Currently in rehearsal at the Furnace Theatre is a new production of the world-famous musical Les Miserables, which premieres this week. I am joined by Ysgol y Strade's sixth former student, Sam Morris, who is one of the stars of the production. Sam, tell us about this exciting project.
It's a great project in the area, and to have the new theatre as well, especially with the new film. I think it's nurtured a lot of excitement in Llanelli, especially for people who haven't really had the chance to go to London to see the show, especially. To have it in the theatre, it's at everybody's doorstep. It's a wonderful facility, and I think it's great for us.
Do you think that a foreignness will attract a greater audience to Llanelli stage productions?
Definitely. We've been lacking this facility for years now. Everybody's moaning about the old Theatre F and how it's falling apart. And, well, it's fall last year, and now we finally got this wonderful new, this huge theatre that has got all the new gizmos and gadgets that we need to put on a full-scale production.
The main purpose of these developments is to help revitalise the town and to restore the vivacity that it arguably has lost. Ysgol y Strade has been filled with national chain brands, restaurant and coffee shops, which is clearly a great convenience for consumers. But surely, the arrival of such large companies must be taking its toll on smaller, local businesses.
Well, not necessarily. We spoke to Alex Einan, who owns local Italian restaurant Altalia, to hear their opinion on the matter. What advice could you give to smaller business that might be struggling?
Probably the best thing I could say would be to stay, if you're an independent, to stay true to yourselves and to provide something to the town that's unique. I think if you look at towns like Narberth and Llandilo, they've got lots of independent shops in the town, and it's a really nice place for people to go, so I'm hoping that Llanelli will sort of build upon the independence we've got, and because there's hardly any chains here now, and we can have some nice little independent shops and it can be a lovely little place to visit. I think we can offer a lovely atmosphere. We've got a really lovely set of staff, and it's a unique experience, and we're a family-run business, so it's got a lovely feel to the place.
Whilst Italia's business is booming, is this the case for everyone else? And what about job opportunities in the local area? I'm here with Wyn Morris, manager at Job Centre Plus Llanelli. Wyn, has the Ysgol development had any effect on job opportunities in the local area?
Yes, it's had a massive impact on the town centre, created over 150 jobs within the town, where people who are employed are leaving their roles as well, just making it more buoyant at this good time just after the recession.
How do you believe that the town will be able to get back to its old thriving self?
Well, that's one for the town planners, unfortunately. That's all we can do here would be to supply any vacancies that come in and sort of advertise them broadly for the people of Llanelli.
Thank you, Wyn.
Our research shows that this isn't just a problem in the relatively small town of Llanelli, it's happening all over the UK. Whilst it is a sad prospect to think of all the small shops disappearing, there may be some things we can do to stop this from happening, such as buying more from the smaller businesses that are closer to us instead of from large chains. New developments are being made across the country, like the one here in Llanelli, and if we can spend enough money on the smaller businesses, it is hopeful that they can coexist with the larger brand names. It's not all bad.
Absolutely not. The National Eisteddfod has been selected to be held in Llanelli next August, which is expected to boost the town's revenue. We spoke to Mr Gethin Thomas, head teacher at Llanelli Welsh Language Primary School, Ysgol y Strade, who has been elected chair of this important cultural event. Mr Thomas, this is a very busy and exciting time for you, I'm sure. How are the plans coming along?
The plans are coming along very well indeed. We've got a target of £320,000 to raise across Carmarthenshire, and we've got local appeal committees being established all over the county, and we hope to reach that target by August of 2014.
For those who may not know, what is the National Eisteddfod?
The National Eisteddfod is the most cultural event in Wales and probably in Europe as well. We expect about 150,000 people to come to Llanelli during the week of the Eisteddfod. It's a 7-day event, so it's very, very exciting, and getting all the people of Wales to be here together to support the Welsh language. But it's promoting the Welsh language. That's the main theme of the Eisteddfod. It's getting the people involved, and getting the young people involved and excited about the Welsh language and getting it promoted across the county. That's what the Eisteddfod is there, and there might be a few surprises. More to come. Please watch.
Thank you.
Nearby the festival fields where the Eisteddfod is held is Strade Castle, a tourist attraction for friends and family, and is only a minute's walk away. A famous castle in the heart of Strade Woods, buried between the villages of Pwll and Furness, is buzzing full of history and timeless beauty. A number of famous TV programmes have been used to film this majestic setting, including Doctor Who.
Several attractions in the Llanelli area are expected to benefit from the Eisteddfod's arrival in August next year. One such attraction is the historic estate of Strade Castle. We sent two of our reporters to speak to current occupant Patrick Mansell-Lewis.
How old is the castle itself?
But 160 years old, most of it, built around 1850. But part of it was not built until the 1870s, so over 2 generations.
Do you believe that the castle will benefit from the Eisteddfod in 2014?
Oh, very much so. Yes, because they say that all publicity is good publicity. I'm not sure that's entirely true, but most publicity is good publicity, and certainly making connections with the leaders of the Welsh-speaking community throughout Wales is going to be a great benefit to us and the family and the provenance of the house itself.
You can have a tour on the castle and learn about the history, the people and the surrounding area of this fine property.
Centre of the castle, you can see the elegance and the detail in every nook and cranny.
Now to dive into the depths of the spiritual world, a paranormal investigation in popular attraction Park Howard with our very own Jacob and Kieran.
Park Howard, 135 years old. Beautiful gardens and play parks. A hotspot for picnics and summer outings. But beneath a family-friendly exterior, a dark secret lurks. Here we are, in this historical landmark. It is almost as if you can feel the eerie sensation of paranormal existence in the surroundings.
Many have said that they've witnessed a woman in white. This is supposedly to be Lady Howard, the former owner of this magnificent mansion. Tradition suggests that every midnight on Midsummer's Eve, a ghost travels around the grounds of Park Howard in a horse and cart, before returning to the main entrance of the mansion and disappearing into thin air.
Llanelli has been described as the most haunted town in the south of Wales. It holds a number of mansions, manors and castles, which have been owned by famous families, such as the Howards, the Stepneys and the Buckleys.
My name is Geraint Hopkins. I'm a paranormal investigator with Ghostwatch Wales. Over 100 programmes on the paranormal, about 50 programmes on the radio.
Legend has it that ghosts of a wartime nurse and a soldier have been spotted in the upper window, which are now blocked inside.
But I was here one day with just walking around, and there was a school here, and the children started telling me, we've seen something in the window upstairs. There's like a nurse up there and a man in an army uniform. And I said, are you sure? Yes, they all said we've seen her. So Sir saw it as well. The other things we call a laser beam. So I need you to keep your eyes away from this. This is called, now what usually happens with a laser beam is, what you'll get is, if a spirit goes near that and walks through it, you get that. Okay, can you see what's happening? I have seen things that some people would have nightmares about.
A number of sightings have been seen at this mansion, not only by paranormal investigators, but by members of the public. People claim that they've seen a pair of legs dangling from the patio doors.
We do not use Ouija boards. They're extremely dangerous, and I wouldn't advise anybody to do anything with the paranormal unless you know what you're doing. Now, on the previous occasion we spent the night in here, we brought some two celebrities with us here for the night, and they refused to spend more than an hour in the house. We had footsteps coming up in the tape, and we also saw, well, what we believe was a shadow on the stairs. I can assure you that the place is actually haunted.
This magnificent mansion is wonderful, pretty, and full of history waiting to be explored.
But beneath the flower beds, the ice cream, and the family picnics is a truly spiritual world.
Finally, our news team were fortunate enough to secure an exclusive interview with newsreader, journalist and school report mentor Hugh Edwards. How did the young man from the small village of Llangennych, just outside Llanelli, become the face of the BBC's 10 o'clock news? We sent Jacob and Luke to meet the man himself and get some expert advice on how to create the best possible school report.
Here we are, just outside the BBC Wales Broadcasting House in Llandaff, Cardiff, where in just a few moments' time we will be meeting BAFTA award-winning journalist and presenter Hugh Edwards.
A wide range of radio, television and online broadcasting material is produced right here in this very building. Some broadcasting to millions of viewers worldwide, such as Doctor Who and Torchwood.
Mr Edwards is currently working on the latest programme in Current Affairs series, The Wales Report, and we are very excited to be holding our exclusive interview with him in that very studio.
Let's go inside to meet the man himself. Mr Edwards, is becoming a journalist something you've always wanted to do?
I did always want to be a journalist, and I did edit the school newspaper when I was in school in Llanelli, so I did have a bit of journalistic ambition, but in all honesty I never thought I'd make the grade, so I looked at other options as well. But yes, I think the honest answer is, from quite a young age I did want to become a journalist, either on a newspaper or on radio and television. I hadn't made up my mind where I wanted to work.
You began your career at radio station Swansea Sound. How did you go from there to becoming anchorman for flagship BBC News programme, the 10 o'clock news?
It's a long journey and you need a bit of luck and you need a bit of good timing, but I think the honest answer is you should really do things that interest you. So I left Swansea Sound after I'd worked there for a few months, and I became a BBC News trainee, where the BBC trained me for a couple of years. And after that I became a reporter, and I always wanted to be a political journalist. So eventually I got a job at the House of Commons, House of Lords for the BBC, as a political correspondent, and I spent over 10 years there. And after that I was asked to go and present the news. I've got to say, it wasn't part of my plan to go and present the news at all. So it was a bit of a shock to me when I was asked to do it, but that's how it happened. So it's a little bit of planning, and a little bit of luck, and a little bit of fate intervening as well.
You have anchored several global news events, such as the Royal Wedding in 2011 and the London 2012 Olympics, not to mention your cameo appearances in such television programmes as Doctor Who and the latest Bond film, Skyfall. Do you have any favourites among these events?
Well, look, can I say, I'm rarely considered to be cool by anyone, but when my kids thought I was in Skyfall, that was quite a cool outcome, okay? It was a very odd thing because, you know, I had a phone call asking me if I'd like to be the news presenter, sadly not Bond himself, in Skyfall. Can't imagine why that was. And the whole piece is only a minute long, it's less than a minute long, and I did it, and then for a year after that, I had to keep it secret, not tell anyone. I forgot about it. And suddenly then the film comes out, and of course it's the most successful Bond film ever. Can I just say, I don't think that's anything to do with my part in the film, okay? But it was a really cool thing to do, and I liked going to the cinema and seeing a bit of this on the screen. It was great. It's good to be part of a Bond film. I think that's quite cool. It's more cool than anything else I've done, I think.
How much preparation is involved in such events as these?
For big events like, let's say, the opening ceremony to the Olympics, which is a programme with an enormous audience in the UK, watched by nearly 27 million people, and it's a 5-hour broadcast, a lot of work goes into that. I probably prepared for 6 months before that, because you need to be across the show itself, you need to have something to say about the 200 countries taking part, you need to be in a position where you can spot various people who are going to take part in the games. There's a lot of preparation that goes into it. And if you don't do the preparation, you can be in an unhappy position when it comes to the broadcast. So you prepare for them. For example, something that's coming up fairly soon, the enthronement of the Archbishop of Canterbury, a very different kind of programme to the Olympics, obviously. If you don't prepare in some detail for what the service is going to be like, who's going to be there, how it's going to work, the programme will be difficult. So you have to put in the work beforehand. And what I found is that if you are interested in these things, the work isn't actually much of a punishment at all. I actually enjoy doing the work. It's like swatting for an exam. You know, you just learn the facts, and then by the time you come to broadcast, hopefully you can enjoy the programme as well.
You're a long-standing supporter and mentor of BBC School Report. How important is it for schools to take part in this annual event?
I like BBC School Report, and I'm delighted that Ysgol y Strade is taking part. It's a great thing to do for lots of reasons. It gives you people a taste of what the media's like. And it's not just you asking the questions, it's your colleagues operating the camera and the sound and everything else. It gives you a sense of what it is to bring news stories together. What makes a news story? What is a good news story? What is your top line on a story? What should your questions be? All of these are good things to take part in. And also, I think it's a good thing to do with literacy skills. Although we're not saying it's about literacy skills, actually writing stories and editing things, these are all editorial skills. So if you can learn those skills in a fun environment, which I hope School Report is, it's a good thing. So I'm delighted you're doing it, and I think we've got 800 or 900 schools taking part this year across the UK. And for me, it's a good way for the BBC as well to cooperate with schools and say, look, we can provide some materials which may help the way that schools go about teaching some things. So I'm very pleased that you're doing it.
Thank you, Mr Edwards, for your time and for a thoroughly interesting interview. Diolch yn fawr.
Diolch I chi. Pleasure.
Thank you very much. And there you have it, some excellent advice received from an expert journalist at the top of his profession. It is clear that Llanelli has more to offer than just beautiful attractions. It produces professional, hard-working, successful individuals who will stop at nothing to achieve their goal. Back to you, Isabel.
And now for the weather report with Nia.
Thank you, Isabel. Hello there. It's been a wet, cold day for most of us, and this awful weather may possibly stay with us for a while. Let's look at tomorrow's weather. As you can see, there's a band of rain coming in from the west with some patches of snow in northern Scotland. The rain will leave behind some showers, especially over the southwest areas of Wales. It'll be cloudy for the rest of the day, with outbreaks of sunshine in some parts. But don't get your hopes up, as the temperature is struggling to reach 10 degrees across most of the land. The highest temperature will be about 15 degrees in the southeast of England, and lowest about 4 degrees across Scotland. As we head into the night, it'll mostly be dry but cold across the UK. Some places even reaching sub-zero temperatures. So remember, pack up warm. Good night.
Thank you, Nia, and that's it from Ysgol y Strade. On behalf of the rest of the School Report team, I wish you a good day.